We're writing the equation of a parabola, and we're going to look at one real-world example of how this is used in this lesson. So I'll start off with a real-world example. So we've talked about that this is used as a receptor. We talked about it in a satellite dish, but it's also used to focus the beam of your light, like in a flashlight or your light bulbs on your car. And so what will happen is you'll have the reflecting pool, and remember this is just a cutaway cylinder of the 3D model, and then your light bulb is going to be here, and that's going to focus the beam out. That's the reason you'll see as you adjust the beam, some flashlights will actually let you adjust some of this information, and it will give you a more focused or a brighter beam, or it will give you a less focused or a dimmer beam. So what we're trying to see is we have the flashlight at this distance. And so we are going to go ahead and look at this. I'm just going to sketch it on a graph. And it says across is 8, and it has a depth of 4. So let me go ahead and find where this order pair is. If it's all the way across to 8, that means this order pair is 4, 4, and this order pair is -4, 4. And that's going to help us as we solve this problem. We know that it's 4 units out at that point, but we need to take and find out what the focal length actually is. So we are going to plug it into y equals 1 over 4c times x squared. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these order pairs, and I'm going to go ahead and take the order pair on the right, the positive side, and plug it in. So the y value is 4, 1 over 4c times our x value, which was 4 squared. And we're going to solve it for c. So I'm going to go ahead and get to where I simplify each side, and so 4 is equal to 16 over 4c, and think of this as 4 over 1 over on the other side, so we have two fractions to do the cross product with, and so we have 16c is equal to 16 times 1, so I'm just doing the cross products like we did last lesson, and that gives us 16. And then we divide both sides by 16 to get away from that c. And that gives us our c is 1. And so our focal length, we need to be 1 centimeter away from the base of the flashlight in order to have the best placement for our light bulb to have the most at the focal point. So our focal length is the same as the light bulb position at 1 centimeter away from the vertex. So now let's look at another one. We're told our vertex is at 7, 3, and our focus is at 7, 5. And so if I come over here and I graph it, I know my parabola is going to look something like this. It's going up, unless it tells me otherwise. And so my c is that distance there. And so I was 2 units up, and so my c is 2. Because my number that was changing was the y, and my x is the same, then that means that I have y equals 1 over 4c x squared. But when I look at this, is my vertex at the origin? No. So therefore, just like we had to do when we're dealing with graphing from the vertex and using your A, we're going to have to move this away from the origin with minus h squared plus k. I'm not going to make you move the left and right opening, but we will have to move the up and down opening, just like we've been doing on before. So the vertex, this information is going to fill in here, and my C is going to fill in at the C. So y is equal to 1 over 4 times 2 x minus x value from our vertex squared plus the y value of my vertex. And now I simplify what can simplify. Y is equal to 1/8 x minus 7 squared plus 3. And I have come up with the equation. So that's when I am away from the vertex. And remember, if I'm going towards my focus, that is the C difference. And if I'm going towards my directrix, that's opposite C. So let's go on to the next problem. This time, I'm given my focus and my directrix. So let's go ahead and graph that. And so I found out that's the difference between the two. But halfway between that is my vertex. And so I need to figure out what the halfway point is. So that is 6 units apart. So that means I need to go 3 up from it to find my vertex. So my vertex is at -3, -1. So my vertex is at -3, -1. And now I have the information I need. Well, I need to find my C as well, which we discussed just a second ago, because half of that distance between them is C. And so C is 3. And since the vertex was above the directrix, it's a +3. If it was below, it would be a -3. So now we're going to plug it in. And since that's not at the origin, I have to use 1 over 4c x minus h squared plus k. And my c was 3, so 1 over 4 times 3. The x minus opposite of the x value plus the same as my y. And well, that changes this to a minus sign. Simplify, what can you simplify it? 1 over 12 x plus 3 squared minus 1. This is the equation of the parabola.